Yes, one of, if not the greatest rock band of all time, Led Zeppelin.
Yes. So many riffs. We
so
got
many
all
riffs.
the riffs out of the way in the first.
What's happened with you? You got a Peter Crouch robot on me.
It's like I'm Pinocchio. And the strings is going.
So Jimmy Page, one of the most successful session-playing guitar players in the UK during the 50s, joined the Yardbirds, joined Led Zeppelin, wrote a million songs, lives in a massive house next to Robbie Williams, loads of arguments between the two of them.
Oh, the
about
pool underneath,
music.
like he wants to dig underneath, and he plays loud music
Exactly.
against the other. I love it. It's proper rock stuff.
He is a cool dude.
Yeah. He takes the bus still,
Does
out
he
in
really?
Putney. Yeah.
It's probably because it's
where
his
my
bus.
father-in-law lives. That's where he got. Yeah, maybe it's his bus. That's fine. What are you all doing
I take
on my
the bus, but it's my bus. No one else is on it. If you've not seen It Might Get Loud, probably the coolest guitar documentary of all time. Everyone's got their favourite in It Might Get Loud. Mine is Jimmy Page.
Where he gets up, there's this stage, and they're all sitting, the Eds and Jack White and Jimmy Page, and he goes up with the Les Paul and goes, back in the day, I was going to play like this, and he plays the Les Paul straight into Marshall.
Has he got Les Paul? Has he got the Dan Electro? I think he's got a Dan Electro in that video.
I can't remember anyway.
Whatever,
But no, I think this is them sitting, talking to each other, where they're playing each other's riffs,
Yes.
or their own riffs.
Yeah.
And Jack White's trying to play that riff, and then he goes, no, check this out. And he just hits it. It's like, what?
And he can't help himself, I think.
No.
As soon as he starts playing, the lips start going, ooh, like that. And it's like, anyway.
It's cool.
They're all cool guitar players on that programme, but he's the baddest one of them all. Anyway, this year, 2019, Fender decided to do some tribute guitars for Jimmy Page. Now, I kind of think a lot of people would be forgiven for thinking of Jimmy Page and thinking of him with the Les Paul slung around his neck, doing his
down
thing, which of course he did a lot. But I think it's less well known that certainly his number one guitar during the Yardbirds and in the early Zeppo days was that, which is a 59 Telecaster, which was given to him by Jeff Beck as a parting gift, I think, when they changed over in the Yardbirds or something along those lines.
Can you imagine some Jeff Beck giving you a 59 Telecaster? Hey, man.
But there probably was in, like...
Maybe you owed him some money for
maybe
drugs or something.
I suppose, in fairness, the guitar probably wasn't that old when he gave it to him, so it wasn't even a
Maybe the
big
guitar
deal.
belonged to the band at the time. Who knows? It's interesting.
So that guitar that Pete is holding is an American-made, kind of like an original series vintage 59 Telecaster, but with all the sort of, the spec as per the 59 that Jimmy Page had. Later, like not much later, but Jimmy customized this guitar with the mirrored discs on it. So you might see him, I think there was some up there as well.
1 here, 4 here, 3 here.
And
the horn.
In a kind of a groovy thing, in the case that you get from Fender, which is here, by the way, everybody. This is the case you get with this guitar. You get...
I remember the first time I
remember that too.
Case.
You get in here a little bag of mirrored discs, which you can stick on or not stick on as you wish. And you get a curly cable, which, as per all curly cables, weighs about 3 kilos. Weighs like half the weight of the guitar.
Yeah.
And a very nice certificate that tells you you've got a genuine one. And a super helpful from Fender. This one's had a bit of a rip in it, unfortunately. A little guide to where to stick those mirrored things if you want to be exactly like Jimmy Page.
And a strap. A Jimmy Page strap.
Now. We'll give you some little tones of that guitar on its own, and then we'll talk about how this one happened, and then we'll talk about something probably the single most collectible, desirable, sexual, Led Zeppelinable guitar package of the year ever. So give us some tones, Pete. Tell us what we're using as well.
Well, we're in because he used to use like a Fender and a Vox amp, right?
That's what his gear page says.
Yeah, that's what the gear page says. And he used Marshall. He used probably everything during his time.
He used a lot of Marshall, a lot of Supro, but allegedly also
he's got a Supro, doesn't he? He's got a Signature Supro.
Maybe, but I think he AC30'd it and he Fender dual showmaned it, and we didn't basically have either of those amps in the room, and we were too lazy to go back to the store and go and get them. But what we did have were the new VC35, which is the 4 EL84 kind of AC30 inspired amp there, and we had just a big 100-watt clean amp as well, which is kind of being our dual showman thing. And we put them all together with a fuzz pedal and a phaser pedal and a Strymon Volante.
Volante, darling.
Volante.
Yes. And here's a G chord, because he played that a lot.
He did. So good.
It's just so... I mean, it's a Telecaster.
It is.
It's really... it's going to sound like a Telecaster, isn't it, really?
But you think a Telecaster is going to sound like a Telecaster? How do you draw that kind of conclusion, Sherlock?
Oh, my goodness me, my dear Watson.
I want to know why it sounds as jangly as we think it does.
Well, see, I thought it had something... It might have something to do with the way that he... He must have strung the guitar like this.
I agree.
So I haven't really seen this before, but there's little holes here, as you can see.
So like the back end of the bridge,
I don't think that's on...
Isn't that just a normal Telecaster thing, where they drill the back of the bridge out, or is that just...
Yeah, there's not on mine there.
Not,
so
okay,
so I would assume it might be... It might be a thing that he...
Maybe it was an era specific thing, maybe all 50. But yeah, so
jangly. It's very jangly.
Whereas normally with the Telecaster, you'd string it through the back of the guitar, and people always say one of the reasons it's more ballsy sounding than a Strat is the way it's strung through the body and all that kind of stuff. But these Jimmy Page ones are strung through the back of the bridge.
Yeah.
And I definitely think it's giving it more brightness and more zing.
Metally sing kind of thing. If you hear it without me turning the guitar up.
It's just more jangly.
Yeah. It's much more jangly. That's the front pickup. It's
oh my life.
That's almost more the sound, isn't it?
It's just like the sound. Maybe we put two. put too much distortion on in those opening bits. I kind of think if we just got a little bit more distortion out the amp, that would be the sound. But hey, maybe we'll do that in a minute.
Let's try.
So,
Go on.
we're going to back the.
I'm just going to put the golden fleece on.
Okay.
And turn it down a bit.
Yeah. Going all Yardbirdsy on us as well.
Yeah, a bit more blues. I mean, it sounds great.
So look,
it feels great. It honestly feels really nice to play.
That's that Telecaster. It's limited edition. It's got a Jimmy Page neck plate on it. Jimmy Page's signature on the back of the headstock. Yeah.
Made in the US.
But it's basically a 59 kind of Tele reissue in a cool white blonde colour with some nice case candy and stuff. Anyway, I don't know what was going through Jimmy's mind at the moment. But I suspect it was probably LSD.
He was chasing something.
Similar.
He was chasing what is on this guitar, I expect.
And this guitar, he decided to strip down, and I think it was natural for a bit, but then he decided to paint on it, and it kind of... He decided to paint on it, and we've now got a mirrored scratch plate on here, and this became known as kind of like the Dragon Telly, if you like. But this isn't two different guitars. This is just that's just that one a few years on. However, the limited edition sort of reproduction of the one with the dragon on it, Fender have made up their Mexican factory.
Yeah.
So it's about £1,000 less money. So let's have a little listen to this here bad boy.
I love the way that looks, man.
I'm just going to play a G chord, the foundation of many a Led Zeppelin tune and other tunes.
It's more like
well.
Same jangly kind of thing.
It is. I'm not doing it. Okay.
That's a band.
It's really weird. I'm convinced we could change the tone of this guitar by just stringing it how you string a conventional Telecaster.
100%.
It's very much brighter and janglier than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
Can I have some dirts, please? Don't know if that's a sound. I mean, it's certainly not. It's certainly a butchered riff.
He had a blue box and all sorts of other things. And,
Did he?
Yeah, but it's.
Anyway, it's a
sounds
nice guitar.
great,
It's a nice guitar to play.
Yeah.
It's visually, obviously, it's very much kind of like can't be mistaken for. I think a lot of guitar players during that time. I mean, Clapton painted his SG, didn't he? And,
yeah.
Who else painted their guitars? Like Jerry Garcia and all sorts of guys.
Was loads of,
I wonder what the common thread between all of those was. Did they go to the same art school or have the same dealer, I wonder? Or both. Anyway, so look, a couple of Jimmy Page guitars here, which are kind of in the realm of affordability for a reasonable chunk of the population. Not everybody, I get that, but I think there'll be a few of you watching this that will have spent, £1,000 or a couple of £1,000 on a guitar in the past and wouldn't be averse to doing it again.
No.
However, earlier this year, in 2019, Fender announced unbelievably, that's so grammatically incorrect, unbelievably limited edition collaboration with Jimmy Page, where Paul Waller, master builder from the Fender Custom Shop, met with Jimmy Page, looked at these guitars, or this guitar.
Well, the original ones.
Well, there's an original one. You can't. There's not. It's
Oh,
the
that's
same
right,
guitar.
there's like-
There's not
Of
two.
course, there's not two of them. There is just one.
So it must have worked off of photographs and Jimmy's obviously guidance about how he wanted the white one to look, because the white one inside this box is relict. The Dragon one, I believe, is not relict.
Nope.
And they set about building a highly limited edition set of just 50 pairs of guitars.
Yeah.
So in
So
these
100
boxes
guitars.
here is a white Telly like that one, and a Dragon Telly like that one.
Yeah.
The Dragon is in the bigger box because it's got a whole load of other candy with it, some crazy case, all kinds of other stuff.
Yeah, lots of crazy stuff. We've not opened it, although I so want to open it.
So this is how bad it is in Andertons. Every day we come to work and we know that in these 2 boxes are these 2 very, very special guitars. But because they're so expensive, it's like 45 grand for the pair. That's 45,000 English pounds. That's like 2 years of an average salary or something.
It's down payment on a massive house.
Yeah, it's a house. It's a nice car. It's
it's 2 nice cars.
It's to be totally honest, I tell you what it isn't, because I just know this from. It's roughly the same as taking like 5 people to Disneyland over Easter, which is what my wife said to me. Let's do that next year. So we're not doing that. I'm telling you now.
What?
Exactly.
No.
It was, yeah.
I'd rather have the guitars.
Yeah, I'd rather just do anything else. And when they arrived, I thought we could either just unbox them all, do all the photography, video like we normally do, and da-da-da. But then I thought, if I was a collector and I really wanted to spend, I wanted one of these, wouldn't I want to be the first person to unbox them?
Yeah.
So that's what we decided we'd do. They are going to stay here in these cardboard boxes in a vault guarded by armed security. And essentially, when someone buys it, it'll be your choice. So you can either come down to Andertons, I'll buy you lunch, I'm cool, Pete and I'll take you out to lunch.
We'll bring them to your house.
Or you want us to drive them to your house. If you live
we
in
should
the
do
UK.
that, shouldn't we?
Yeah, absolutely. If
I'm
you're in
up
the
for
UK,
that.
we'll drive them to your house, whatever. Me and Pete will drive them to your house. And you can be the first person to unbox them. Or if you want to come here, and you want us to do, Pete and I'll do you a personal video for them if you want to.
Come and be in the video.
Come and be. I'm thinking if you live abroad and you'd rather that Pete and I unbox these and we did the video and we just sent it to you as a little keepsake, whatever you want. Basically, for 45 grand, you get a lot.
Yeah.
We will pimp ourselves out basically for you.
Yeah.
It's like, well, within reason. So yeah, that's what's in this box. So I'm sorry, the 999 million of the rest of you that'll be sitting there going, oh, please can we see them? You'll have to basically wait until someone places that order.
I would
and
just
decides.
Love to open them up.
Yeah.
And have
But yeah,
have
only 50. I can tell you what serial numbers they are. Or can I? Someone stuck something over this. Serial number JP122 is this one.
JP122.
Doesn't need a very long serial number, does it? Because
No.
like JP122, there you go. That's in that one, and I believe that's the white one in there.
Yeah.
And this one, the
It weighs
massive
an
one,
absolute ton.
this is JP222. So I guess it's like number 22 of 50 is this one, and 22 of 50 is that one. Did I mention that Jimmy Page personally painted some of the Dragon?
And they're all signed by him as well.
Yeah, personally signed by him as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He touched these guitars.
He touched them. That's what I'm saying. I can't even touch something he's touched.
Yeah. It's a shame, but there we are.
But I guess, look, if you don't have 45 grand, and don't feel bad because like, that's kind of most of us in fairness.
Yeah.
If you don't have 45 grand, but you fancy something very, very cool and a very cool kind of piece of historic Jimmy Page-ness.
I mean, for a little over £1,000, this thing is just ace, isn't it?
Yeah. So that's kind of, as I said, if you imagine like Mexican road worn kind of vibe, that's that one, and that one's American original.
Yeah.
Maybe you could buy both of those and then convince someone else that you had the 45 grand set. Do them a deal where it's just half price, so you just get like 22 grand for
Yeah,
it.
you lost a case for one of them.
You make like 19 grand on this and then just change your name and run away. Hey, maybe don't do that.
Maybe not. Maybe not. Oh, you have to buy them in a pair as well.
Yeah, you can't have one without the other. It's 45 grand for the two. There's no option to have one without the other. They're like a pair, a twin.
There we are. If you are feeling in a spendiferous mood for Christmas.
So honestly, I'm not joking here. If you live in the UK, what if they live like in Aberdeen or something? It's a serious road trip.
Well, we'll take a trip, man. Come on,
but if you live in the UK, Pete and I will deliver these to you, take you out for lunch. We'll have a fun like half an hour, whatever.
Jam out.
And or you can come here and we'll do that
and
here.
We'll do it on a
video, whatever you want to do. Okay, there we go. So that's it, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this. Well played, Pete. Your Led Zeppelin riffing was much better than mine. And we shall see you in another video soon. Au revoir. Or goodbye. as they say in Led Zeppelin.
Yeah.